Hi guys, today I'm going to be scrapbooking this picture of my kids. We are at our favorite state park. I've already done one layout about that. I have so many pictures from our favorite state park and camping and day trips. And anyway, this is a picture of my two kids, and I actually got them both to smile and agree to take the picture. Sometimes that can be a challenge. Excuse me, trying to get over bronchitis, and I'm not doing a really good job of it. I'm going to use Heidi Swapp stuff today. So I am trying to decide if I want this paper to be my frame or this paper to be my frame. And I'm going to do a little bit of mixed media. So I really like, sorry, the black and white around there. But I was hoping for some green, and I don't quite like that as much. So I think what I'll do is have the black and white, and this paper is from a, here I'll show you, it's from a best of Heidi Swapp type thing. I got it at Hobby Lobby. There are 180 pages in here. The paper's very thin. This is not cardstock weight. This is, if you've ever gotten a stack, you know, one of those die cuts with a view, the stack, they're called. It's that quality. I would say it's probably almost printer paper quality. It's very, very thin, but it's an economical way to get paper, I suppose. Excuse me. I was hoping to do this without coughing. I see I'm not going to be able to. Anyway, I am going to do a little bit of mixed media. So, with that said, and the paper decided on, and then I also have some Project Life cards that match. I don't know if I'll use any of that. Sometimes I use one of the cards for journaling, but we'll see. And then I have my tray of all embellishments from Heidi Swapp. I have some acetate pieces, the stars, butterflies, some hearts, some get this in the camera here, right? Acetate words, transparency words, I'm not sure. Some die cuts. This does not belong in there. A couple different sets of die cuts, some overlays that came in a Project Life kit, I think it came in there. Some more die cuts, and I don't remember where these are from. If it's September Skies, I may have some September Skies. These are the kind that you color. These are definitely September Skies. There's some, I don't know, shiny stuff on there, and when you color it, it resists. So between that and these stickers and these cards, the cards, I don't have the box for that either, so I don't know which one that one is from. It's not the picturesque kit. It's the other one that just came out, and I don't remember what it was. So I will put you guys on fast forward now, and we will get started. Okay, so I'm going to start off by just cutting an inch off of each side of the white cardstock so that I can do the mixed media stuff. And yes, I am now recording this part of this about a week later. We had a funeral to go to in another state, so I was gone. And I am sick again. Still, but again. So I shouldn't be coughing. It's in my head. It's in my head this time. So I'm using some distress ink and a little bit of water, doing the packaging technique here. Checking to see how I want to do the photo. And I decided that I wanted to maybe do some texture paste. So I have a jar of that by Liquitex modeling paste. And I'm trying to decide here, do I want to color it or do I want it white? And I decide I'm going to color it with the Blueprint Sketch. That's by Tim Holtz. And it's too light. I like the color, but it's too light. And now I don't have any room to squish any more ink, but I'm trying. And I will now get the paint, the Distress paint, and mix that with it, and that worked really well. It made it all be the same color, so I was happy with that. So I'm going to put some of that in 3 different spots, and I haven't really worked with texture paste or modeling paste that much yet, and I'm not very good at it. I keep kind of smearing it. So I'm just kind of cleaning up my workspace here a little bit and checking to see how I want to put my picture on there. Trying to dry it a bit, but it was taking too long, so I just paused the recording and finished, let it dry. And now I believe, yep, I'm looking to see what paper I would like to mat the photo on. Flipping through the whole paper pad there. You know, sometimes too many choices are just that, too many choices, and it makes the decision-making process too difficult. So, okay, I'm going to be mounting it, or framing it, I guess, on some blue cardstock. I went into my cardstock, or plain color cardstock drawer, and got some blue, and I didn't think it was enough contrast, so I'm going to look through some of my cards to see if I want to put that in there. But they're not going to stay. That's not going to work for me. So I decided to use the other pattern paper that I was debating for the frame around the white cardstock. And I like that. So I go with the green and white triangles, and now I'm still going to play with some of the cards, but none of the cards end up on the layout. This was yet another one, and I don't know if I'm feeling pressure because of the recording. Now I'm putting some black cardstock around there. If that's what's making me so indecisive, I'm, know that I'm being recorded and there's a timing thing. I don't know if that's what's doing it. I'm not real sure, but I seem to be extremely indecisive. Don't let your paper touch that pattern, the thin pattern paper like that when you have your ATG on it. It doesn't come off very well, but it managed to be covered up. It was high enough off of the page that it was covered up. So, and now I'm going to figure out how I want to, where I want to put the picture and how I want the paper to be. And I like that. And that's enough of the cards, so those are going away. A lot of times I use those for journaling or something, but I actually didn't do any journaling on this page. There's not a whole lot to say, and it faces more pictures in a pocket page style that will have journaling in it, so I just really didn't have a whole lot to say on that. Granted, they're both smiling and looking at the camera, and that seems to be something that is difficult to do nowadays, but all that will be explained probably on the opposite pocket page. So I'm just looking through all the embellishments, picking out things that match the layout, things with the blues, the darker blues and the greens. Just throwing a whole bunch of things, and black. I had some black and white things out there too because the frame is black and white. did not end up using any black and white. My plan has been to have more videos up, but it's just been nuts. I have been sick since April 8th, and today is May 1st. I was still having issues with the bronchitis, still coughing, still not feeling that great. And didn't I wake up on this past Thursday morning, Thursday the 28th, with a sore throat? And I thought, no way, you can't get sick when you're already sick, can you? Turns out you can. So I didn't get any videos up last week. We left early in the morning on Wednesday to go down to my mother and father-in-law's house. My mother-in-law's father died last week, and the funeral was on Thursday, and they live in Ohio, so it was an 8-hour drive. And then we had the funeral on Thursday, and we came home on Friday, just in time for my son's play. And thankfully, yesterday, Saturday, and today, I didn't have anything to do or anywhere to go because I am just feeling awful, and I have to go back to work tomorrow. I missed quite a bit of work from when I was sick with bronchitis, and now I just missed another few days because of the funeral. Okay, back to the layout. I am using the word together. That's from Heidi Swapp's September Skies Color Magic, I believe it's called. It says together, and I color that with the Blueprint Sketch Distress Ink by Ranger and Tim Holtz. Now I'm just playing around with some frames and tags and trying to figure out my embellishment clusters. I am going to be going back to real time here for a minute in a couple minutes. I'm not sure exactly how much time is left before I go back to real time, and then I'll be fast forwarding again. So in just a minute you'll be real time again. I'm just looking through. I like that Amazing, and it's a 3x4 overlay, but I didn't want to use the whole overlay, so I just cut the Amazing out. I have a feeling I'm going to be doing that a lot. Cutting some of it off so I can use it as a banner. And looking at that tag, I like it, but I can't figure out how to make it work. And I will be going real time, so I will be back shortly. My phone filled up and I didn't notice it. I was just getting together this bottom cluster here, and I just glued it all down. That's pretty much all that was missed. And then I decided that I was going to add this little piece of acetate over here. So that's all you missed. Okay, so now I'm going to put down that little piece of acetate that says Love Life. And I ended up using my little Xyron for that, because if you get the whole thing covered with adhesive, like from the Xyron, you can't really see it underneath. Where you can, I did that green arrow on that bottom cluster, that acetate arrow above the Amazing. I did it with, glued it down with the Scotch Quick Dry glue, and you can see it. Even though it's dried, you can see it underneath. But if you put it through your Xyron, you can't tell that there's adhesive underneath. So that's a nice little trick. That's just my little one. I have one of the bigger ones too. So the title ends up being Love Life Together. And I just colored the together with the Blueprint Sketch Distress ink. It seemed to be well, of course it was the perfect color. That's what I colored the modeling paste with. So now I'm looking through my blue embellishments. I have a lot of my mismatched, I guess, embellishments sorted by color. I have some of My Mind's Eye die cut packs now together, but I kept them together with My Mind's Eye. I did not separate those into color. These are just things that I had in my scrap room for years, and I decided, you know, I really kind of scrapbook by color, so why don't I sort them by color? And it works for me. It works really well. So I'm looking through my flare now, trying to see if I can find a flare that will go on this layout. I love my flare. I built the little collection that I have quite quickly, but I have a hard time figuring out where to put it, how to put it, whatever on my layouts, and nothing, it didn't make it. What you see right now is essentially how the layout ends up being. Here I am trying some wood veneer. None of it's going to stay on the page. It's done, but I'm desperately trying to make a quote-unquote proper cluster up on that left-hand section of side of that photo, and it isn't going to happen. There go the wood veneers, and I'm thinking, what can I put there? And eventually I just give myself permission to just let there be one cluster. The title and the cluster, and then that teeny tiny two-pieced with the arrow and the hello on the side, and just seems like I should have more on there, and I just don't. Now I'm roughing up the edges because where the paper stuck earlier, it kind of ripped the white paper. So I thought, oh, I'll just rough up all the edges. So that's the end of the layout. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have questions on anything, leave me a comment.